Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Sagittarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we're starting with the Seven of Cups. Not the most ideal card, but I think it's important that we're seeing the red flags in something right now. Okay? Sometimes this is an energy that we may feel that, oh, everything is great. It may look like everything should be perfect, but there's this intuitive nudge that's kind of saying, like, we need to keep moving. This is not where we want to remain. Okay? It could be that we have been striving for something and we've arrived there, only to realize that it's not precisely where we want to be. Okay, I feel like there are moments in life where you will feel the intuitive nudges, you will kind of sense the red flags, and you should trust that. Okay, so this is that feeling inside, that almost instinctual feeling, right? Something's not right. Something isn't what it looks like. Something isn't as healthy, as loving, as supportive as I thought it was, or as it seemed. Okay? And I think you're somebody who's in touch with that. You're somebody who can trust that vibe that you feel with things. So let's see what's going on here. Let's use the Dove and Serpent spread. Put this into some context. There we have a Four of Pentacles. We have a Nine of Cups. We have a Two of Pentacles. We have your superpower card. That is the card that rules the sign of Sagittarius. Okay, that's the Art or Temperance card. And we've got the Magician. So I think that we are realizing we don't have a very good feeling about the situation we're in right now. And that Magician is saying, okay, I need to learn something from this and I need to be able to change things. We need to make a move. I feel like this is... between these two, between the Seven and the Four, that Four of Pentacles, right? I almost feel like you have a house guest, and somebody's been staying with you, and they've sort of like overstayed their welcome. You know, it kind of feels like, okay, it's time for something to just move on now. It's like it's time to get going somewhere. Okay, it's I don't know, it's that feeling like we've been sitting at the restaurant for too long. We've got to get back on the road. And I feel that there's kind of that growing feeling like I've got to keep going, okay? And I think the Magician is aware of that. Here we have the Two of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles, the Hermit, and the Two of Swords. So yeah, I feel like what we don't want is the Hermit. Okay, this is kind of the energy that is like we don't want to turn our back on something. We don't want to necessarily walk away from something because we feel love. We want to have the thing we want, right? We want to either succeed in this particular relationship or in this job or on this path. And so it's kind of difficult sometimes to get out of this situation, whether this is a reluctance to break up with somebody, maybe we're reluctant to sort of leave the comfort or the familiarity of the Four, even though underlying it we see that it's not all it could be. It's not what I was hoping it was, or it's not supportive any longer, right? There's something urging us to keep walking, to keep going, that this was good, but this was temporary. Whether we're talking job, relationship, spiritual path, friends, family members, like whatever it is for you. There's something that you intuitively know is not the best your life could be. This is supposed to be temporary. Okay. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right over here with Tiny Bob Ross right on top. Happy little Bob. Okay, we're not going to look at that card until the very end. But it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. Okay, if you have a prediction for that card, please put it in the comments down below. Let's use our intuition. Now, as we look around the room, we see major, major, major. We see the Hermit and the Magician, and of course that pressure cooker, that Temperance card, the blacksmith's anvil. We're sort of looking up and thinking, but it would just be so much easier to just stay here. I wish this was the thing. I wish this was the goal because I want to feel happiness, as opposed to getting back out there on the road and letting life knock us around a little bit more, like we're on the blacksmith's anvil, right? So there's part of us that really wants this to be the thing. We want this to be it. We want this to be the final sort of, the final goal, the final arrival, okay? I think you're somebody that can see essence beyond the form, right? We've got the Four of Pentacles here, but we've got the essence behind it. It may be something that seems stable and seems prosperous and profitable and healthy and good on the surface. You can see that essence behind it. And this is the essence of, well, it could be toxicity. It could be something that appears very good on the surface, but you have this intuitive sense that it's not quite right on the inside, that the true energy of something, the true essence, is not something that resonates with your ideal or your highest good, like the Nine of Cups down here. Okay? So we don't have any fire at the moment. We have some water. Yeah, we've got a 2, a 9, and the 7 of Cups. We have a little bit of air here at the end. And we've got a couple of earth cards. Okay? The earth cards are saying, well, we made a change. We took a step. We arrived here. Should be the end. Should be saying, okay, this is good. I'm happy. But it's saying, no. It isn't it. I got to keep going. This isn't it. And so this other earth energy is sort of looking at the future and thinking, where do I go from here? Yeah, we're sort of looking ahead and we're thinking, okay, I need to keep walking. Okay, energy does not stop evolving. Nothing ever ceases, right? Even the highest, purest gold is continuing to evolve. And this is us kind of like looking at more mountain and thinking, I guess I got more mountain to climb. Maybe we thought this was the summit, but as we can see, this is a plateau. And if you look at the Knight of Pentacles card, we can't see the summit of the mountain. There isn't one really, right? There's just the journey. There's just the journey. And sometimes we arrive at a certain plateau and we can think, this is good. I'm just going to stay here. I like it here. It's nice. I got my pets, my plants, my people. I can make this my 10 of Pentacles, right? Other times we'll arrive at a plateau and we'll think, I don't like it here. I'm just going to spend the night, but I'm going to get out. I'm going to go. It's like you get, sort of a not so good hotel room, and you're thinking, maybe I'll stay here for one night, but then I'm getting back on the road. If it's a nice hotel, maybe I'll stay a week or 2 or 3, or maybe I'll just live here permanently, right? I always had a fantasy of living in hotels, and I had friends that would do that, and it was not as glamorous as I thought it was going to be, But this is the idea that we sort of, everything is temporary. The Four of Pentacles reminds us that nothing is permanent. Everything is impermanent. Everything is always evolving. Okay? And I think right now that the Seven of Cups is this feeling of something is out of alignment. Okay? Seven of Cups is, it could be a queasy feeling. It could manifest in a lot of ways for you. It could be it's like your spidey senses are tingling about it. We could feel something in our gut. It could be manifesting as a little bit of anxiety. It doesn't seem like it's necessarily anxiety that we think of. It's not like we're not like, jazz hands tap dancing on the shag carpet kind of anxiety, but it's some kind of a queasy feeling. I don't know if you're someone who can walk into a building or walk into a room and you just sort of feel sick to your stomach and you know that there's bad energy there. I feel like that's kind of what's going on here, okay? So it's up to you if you're going to spend the night or the week or if you're just going to keep traveling. But something is telling you this place does not have, this does not have what you're looking for, okay? And you're somebody that trusts your feelings. Your feelings, your emotions are not inconvenient. You know, there's part of us that says, God, I really wish this could be the thing, because I don't want to have to, well, keep traveling, keep on wandering through life. And, you know, I don't think we're wandering, but it reminds me of the I Ching hexagram of the wanderer, who is arriving at a kind of a caravanserai, and it realizes that it's just passing through, okay? And this is a situation that maybe we're just passing through. Okay, I don't feel there's no fire cards here. I don't feel as if we are rallying against this thing. I don't feel as if we're trying to tear it down. We're just trying to say, okay, you know what? Maybe I'm just passing through, and that's okay. I wish this could be the thing, because underneath the surface, you got the 9 of Cups. It's like this was your secret wish. Your secret wish was that this could be the finish line. This could be the goal. We could be talking career. We could be talking love and romance. We could be talking friendships. We could be talking literally like the house you're living in, or like the town you're in, or something like this, okay? We could be talking about financial or material goals. And we could be saying, well, you know what? I really thought that once I hit this number, I'd be happy. But here I am. It doesn't feel right. So we're going to keep traveling. Of course, the magician, Mercury here, is the lord of commerce and business and that sort of thing. So we could be talking about career things. And maybe there was a point in our life where we thought, you know what, I just need a little job somewhere, quiet little life, and I don't need a whole lot of anything. And we went sort of minimalist, you know. And then we get there and we sort of have that life and we think, it doesn't make me feel good. I'm not happy. So we then ask the question, why am I not happy? I want to be happy. I want to have abundance on the physical, financial, mental, emotional, and spiritual creative planes. This is satisfaction, fulfillment, and abundance in every dimension. Okay? And we might be wondering, okay, which one of these are sort of not feeling so good right now? Is this kind of a material thing where I have to admit, I need more material comforts. I want more money. I want nicer things in my life. There's nothing wrong with that, of course, right? Or is this more mental, emotional thinking? This is just it's not a situation that's stimulating me, not a situation that makes me feel a happiness or a jubilation or a delight. Maybe this is a spiritual thing, saying this is not a path that leads to my spiritual evolution and development, right? There's something there that one of these cups is a little bit out of sorts, okay? But this is your highest good. This is on all different planes, in every aspect, every realm of life, every dimension of your life. This is you saying, I know what I want, and I know what's good for me, and I know what my highest good is, whether this is mental, emotional, or spiritual, or physical, whatever, right? So you have this inside of you, and I think that this situation is not matching this standard of yours. Now the thing is, you have this Temperance card up above everything. Sorry for my squeaky chair. I've gone back to the old flower chair when I first started, and this is a squeaky SOB. I'm going to have to put some oil on it or something, because it's bad. I broke the other chair, the new one. Don't ask. Anyway, everything is kind of, everything is a learning experience. Okay, we are always being taught something. If we pay attention, everything is a lesson. We can learn something from literally every situation, okay? So I think that this is something that is leading to your highest good, even though we may not feel it right now. I think part of this transmutation of the Temperance card, this is the alchemy card, right? We're turning suffering into strength. We're turning pain into self-knowledge, gnosis. We're turning it into power, okay? And wisdom. Right, we have wisdom here with Mercury. The magician, this is the card of wisdom itself. So even though this is not the ideal situation, we're still taking what we can from it, and we're realizing, okay, I've learned something about myself. Maybe this is that I've chosen to live minimalist for a while, and I'm realizing a lot about myself. You know, when I try to go on these, I'm not advocating anything, but sometimes I try to do intermittent fasting. I try to do like low carb kind of stuff. And, I try to control myself and restrain my eating at certain points so that I can grow stronger. I can become more in control of what I'm doing, And sometimes we might realize this situation and think, okay, this is going to make me stronger. I don't like it. Maybe this is something that we're not just going to run away from. Okay, this could be one of those things, this is something I have to do for my own reasons, right? But this is where our Two of Swords comes into it. It's going to have to be your choice. Spirit is not telling you, hey, red flag, run away. Okay? But Spirit is telling you that, hey, there's a reason why you don't feel so good about the situation you're in now. This is supposed to be temporary, but like I said, whether you're staying here for one night or you're going to live here for a month or two, it's up to you. Right? We could just say, nope, red flags, I'm out. Or we could say, okay, it's not ideal, but maybe it's going to be good for me to sort of to go minimalist for a while. That's the analogy, but you need to tailor that to your own situation. Of course, if this is a situation that is unhealthy or is threatening you in any way, seek help, get out of there, make sure you're safe. Okay? I feel like this is something that's a little bit like it's less than ideal. I don't feel like it's dangerous or anything. But again, use your wise judgment, okay? This is just entertainment. I'm not an expert, okay? But this is something that does not feel as good as you were hoping that it would. You can look at it as a test of your fortitude, a test of your strength, or you can just say, I'm out of here, okay? I don't want to stay here another minute. I'm not sleeping in this motel, and you're out, okay? The Two of Pentacles behind you is sort of showing that this was a step you took, that you've been on this path and you're trying to improve your life. You're trying to work your way up the ladder at work, or you're trying to do your spiritual work, or you're trying to develop yourself or develop your relationships. We've arrived here at this Four of Pentacles place, literally or metaphorically speaking, and it doesn't feel all that great. We're encountering some uncomfortable feelings. Maybe this is that part of the journey where we have to deal with how we feel. We have to really pay attention to, why do I feel that Seven of Cups? Why do I feel uneasy? Why do I feel sort of sick to my stomach about this? What is that saying about me? Okay, so we can turn things into this sort of alchemical mixing pot, right? Where we're trying to take these uncomfortable feelings and turn them into self-knowledge, gnosis, strength, evolution, development, and find out why we feel the way we feel about this situation. It could honestly very simply just be you get red flags, you got a gut feeling, and you're going to get out of there. It could be very, very simple, because the lesson might be, how well do you trust yourself? Is this simply that, this hotel doesn't have it doesn't have the jacuzzi tub in there, and ooh, I can't stay here, I'm out. Or is it like, okay, there's bed bugs here, I'm getting the heck out of here. So we have to ask, what does this say about me? Is this talking about some of my conceptions of what happiness should be, or what things I expect out of life versus what the reality is, right? Or is this saying that, I value myself and I'm not going to put up with a Seven of Cups? If this situation is not, if it's not helping me to get to my highest good, to evolve, to live abundantly, and to focus on love and positivity, and if this isn't healing and healthful to me, then I don't have to accept it as a part of my life. You have to deal with it still. I was going to say you don't have to deal with it, but no, you still have to deal with it. But that is part of the magician energy, because the magician is the one who causes change. So this was an act of magic. Well, maybe you don't like the result, do another act of magic and change it. Okay? Sometimes it's Harry Potter, it's Ron Weasley, right, trying to do magic. And instead of getting I don't know what it was, instead of the butterfly, he gets the frog or something. And it's like, I didn't want the frog, I like the movies, but whatever. I don't know what he was doing. But the idea is that we just need to try again. We just need to keep going. We have the magician in our immediate future, which is like we're gaining wisdom through this process. We're gaining strength, fortitude, and wisdom. We are becoming a better magician. By trying to do our magic, this is the result. Do I like it or not? Why don't I like it? Let's do it again. Do we not like it because we're mistaken about what our highest good really is, and Spirit is saying, no, this is the situation that's for your highest good right now? Or was there some mistake in our process of magic, and we ended up with this result, and it's not for our highest good, and we're meant to sort of cast the spell again, if you will. I hope that makes sense. I hope that we can see that we have the Two of Swords at the end here. We need to decide, we need to think about this in that way and think, what is Spirit telling me? What is my soul telling me? I'm in this situation that doesn't feel good. Is this supposed to be a karmic lesson? Is this supposed to be where I'm at? Am I supposed to be here getting stronger and wiser through this situation? Or did I sort of manifest the wrong thing? You know, was there an error in the way I cast the spell? And that's why I've got something that doesn't seem to be resonating with my highest good. And therefore I need to evaluate how I'm going about my manifestation, and I need to try something else so I can get, so this is something that you're meant to go through, but whether this is a day, a week, a month, or however long that's one question we're asking. And then also, why are we here? What is the purpose behind this? What is it that we're supposed to understand about this situation? Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the path of the serpent. We've got Two of Cups as your general energy. This is love. This is the super glue that holds the whole universe together, okay? Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. These readings are free. To have this as your general energy tells me that you're very accepting of things. You're not someone who rejects energy. You're not someone that rejects people. I think you're a very kind person. I think that you like to give people the benefit of the doubt. I think that you you give a lot of love and joy out to the world. Okay? I think you always choose love first. You always have this attitude of like, let's try it. Let's see how, like, let's get our hopes up and let's try our best. Let's be optimistic. Let's be hopeful. Yeah. And I don't think it always comes back to you. Okay. So we have to be careful with the Two of Cups as a general energy, because this is almost a desire to unite with everything, which is fine. It's good. Like, we should be open to all people, all experiences. We should accept everything in our life, right? If we're capable of doing that. Because sometimes we accept things, people, places, whatever. We accept energy into our life that is rather toxic energy. And that could really have detrimental effects on our organism. Now, I'm not talking physical poison or toxicity. I'm talking the energy, negative vibrations. If we're in this environment that gives us this Seven of Cups feeling, this queasiness, this sick feeling, where we're just in some bad energy, we don't have to stay there. Okay, but the Two of Cups is kind of like saying we're marrying ourselves to every energy that's around us, and we're accepting both sides of life, right? We're accepting the good and the bad. Life is this two-way street, and we're embracing all of life. But we have to maybe do so very carefully, very slowly, okay? Because it has the capability of destabilizing us. Okay, so when we're too open and too accepting and too ready to bring everything in, it kind of puts us at risk a little bit. Okay, so we might need a little bit of the fortification that we would get with a Four of Pentacles, or I think in this case maybe a Four of Cups. Okay, So what we could be seeing in this case is that, yeah, this is not the ideal situation for you, but you're strong enough, okay, that you can deal with it until you reach a state of increased wisdom and understanding, so that you know what magic to perform next. Okay, that you don't have to let this situation, you don't have to let this Seven of Cups really poison your energy or infect your aura. That you are strong enough to say, okay, you know what? This isn't an ideal situation. There's some stuff I don't like about this job, but I know I got to stick it out until I can figure out my next move. We don't have to react. We don't have to react to this and just run the other way. Okay? And again, this is all obviously your free will. You make the decisions. You have to look at this and ask these questions. Is this something that is so powerful I cannot stay here? Or am I strong enough that I can endure this for however long it takes? Maybe it's that job that we really don't like, right? Maybe it is, maybe it's literally like being around certain family members or something, right? We don't vibe with that energy. Do we have to be visibly, dramatically repulsed by it? Or can we say, hey, you know what? I'm strong. I can control myself. I can be protected against this energy, and I can endure it for the day or two or whatever, right? This is obviously your call. But I feel that Spirit is forging you into someone who is capable of identifying toxic energy, identifying low vibrational energy, and protecting yourself against it until you can cause harmonious change and conformity with your will. And that's that Magician card. Okay? The Magician is not just reacting against the Seven of Cups and like running the other way, quitting the job, going home, right? The Magician is formulating a plan, a will that it can execute in order to cause change that is for your highest good. So there's a difference. It's intentional. Okay? Yeah, it's intentional. It's not reactive. Yeah. But the Knight of Pentacles in the environment is us sort of looking into the future and thinking, okay, how is this current situation aligning me with the future that I want? Okay? Who do I want to be? Where do I want to be? And what do I want to be doing in the future? That's what this card's doing. It's kind of looking to the future. Maybe this is a temporary, injury, illness. Maybe this is something that is, it's a temporary, I don't want to call it a disappointment, right? It's a temporary state of this queasiness, right? So in some ways it feels like this is an injury or an illness that is going to pass. And we're sort of, we're thinking, okay, well, this is just one little stop on my larger journey. This is not my permanent state of things. Maybe we just are in a negative emotional state. And sometimes we think, this is it. I'm going to feel this way forever. You know how when we're sick, especially as kids, when a kid is sick, it just thinks, I'm going to feel like this way forever. This is my whole life now. I'm going to feel ill. I think we're sort of looking and we're thinking, no, this is going to pass very, very soon, and I'll continue on my journey. This is a temporary sickness, let's say. Okay? And maybe we need that mantra, this too shall pass, this too shall pass, or that we're fortified against that kind of energy, and we're not going to let it affect us or change who we are. We're not going to let it sort of ruin our plans or make us, we're not going to let it infect us to the point where we feel that our future is gone. That this is the permanent state and my future now has disappeared. Okay, so we're still looking into the future and we're thinking, okay, this is a temporary spot. I'm going to continue on my journey. Your pilgrimage of life is not over. Okay, it doesn't stop here. Okay. And I think that it's good we don't have the fire energy, right? Because sometimes that fire energy, especially if we had like, let's say an 8 of Wands, maybe the mystery card, I don't know. But that 8 of Wands would be that sort of nervous energy, right? It's that busyness that would be distracting us from how we really feel. And so right now we're not doing anything. We're not moving around. We're not like hyperactive. We're just like sitting here feeling how we feel and thinking, okay, why do I feel this way and what do I need to do about it? What is its purpose? Why is this feeling here? What is it telling me in my soul? You know, is it telling me that that I've got to just push through and I'm getting stronger and I'm getting wiser and I'm going to continue going? Or is this telling me that, hey, this is the wrong stop? This is the wrong hotel for me to pull my car into tonight and I got to get out of here. Okay, well, we got to listen. So that's why there's no fire energy, because we're listening to that feeling. We're feeling the feeling. We're not going to let it crush us, right? We're fortified against it to the point where we can look at it with love and acceptance and all this stuff, right? This is a card of self-love more than anything. And we're able to have that conversation kind of like with that feeling and say, what are you here for? What are you trying to tell me? You know? Remember that old show, Lassie, with the dog, black and white? The dog would bark, try to warn the kid of danger. What is it? What is it, girl? You know? And that's sort of what we're doing. We feel some emotion in us barking, and we're trying to say, what are you trying to tell me? You know, show me what the problem is. Okay? And the Hermit is the energy we don't want here. Because the Hermit is, you know, that sort of feeling of like, you know, I don't want to say loneliness or isolation, but it can be. The shadow side of the Hermit is loneliness and isolation, because sometimes it's a journey that we've been on for a long time, and we don't necessarily want to keep going in this way. It's like, I really thought this would be the one. I thought this was going to be my forever job, my forever home, my forever partner. And the Hermit's kind of saying like, oh, back on the road. You know, we're kind of road weary. And sometimes when you're on a road trip, you get to the stinky motel, you're just too tired to go look for another one. You're saying, I don't care, I'm just going to sleep here. I really don't care. It's just for a night. It's fine, right? And so, you know, we're dealing with that aspect of things too, that road weariness, where we want to pursue our very best in life, the best version of ourselves, the highest abundance, the highest good, right? We want to evolve our highest good. But sometimes we're just dog tired of the journey, you know? And so it encourages us to sometimes settle for less. Sometimes encourages us to, well, it's not so bad. We can make do. We can somehow be okay here. Yeah. And so we have to sort of get over that. If Spirit is saying, hey, your journey's not over, you got to keep on trucking. Sometimes we need to pick ourselves up by the bootstraps and dust ourselves off and put on our cloak and keep going. Yeah. The Two of Swords at the end, of course, is you asking all of these questions. Okay? You know, especially with the Two of Cups here, we're realizing that we want to be kind. We want to be kind to ourselves. We want to be kind to other people. But being kind does not always mean putting up with something and just trying to manage it, right? Because this might be a sick feeling, and I'm just trying to manage it, okay, rather than fixing it. This is like, oops, I'm going to put a Band-Aid on it. Everything's okay, you know. Take a little bit of Tylenol, you're fine. I don't feel like that is necessarily kindness. We might be trying to be nice, but that's not the same as being kind. Being kind to ourselves is saying, look, I don't have to put up with this. Living in this and just trying to cover that up, that's not being kind to yourself. Okay. So the Two of Swords becomes your questioning. It's a question and answer with that emotion. And we ask the questions. Don't let your mind answer the question back. You're going to trust the intuition up here, that little crescent moon. You're going to listen to the feelings. We can ask the questions verbally, but then don't wait for a verbal answer, you know, because that's just your mind talking to itself, right? We're gonna listen to our body, listen to how our body feels, listen to how our gut feels, right? We have the emotion here in the body. The emotions, what is it? The emotions are the language of the body, right? So we've got to listen to how we feel physically and emotionally here. Even though we're kind of asking those questions, we're trying to enter into a dialogue with something that is nonverbal. right? Our body and our emotions and what it's trying to communicate with us. Of course, the magician is the lord of communication as well as commerce, right? So we're trying to have that dialogue with our body and our heart to see, like, what's going on here? Why do I feel this way? And what does it mean? What is it trying to tell me? And where do I go from here? Yeah. Let's look at the mystery card over here. I don't want any fire, but I don't know. Maybe fire would be good. Maybe an ace. If we have fire, maybe we have an ace. Maybe we have the judgment card. Maybe we have, maybe we'll have the moon card. Well, let's see. Let's see what we have. We have the death card. The death card is sometimes a card of keep on trucking. Sometimes it's a card that says change happens slowly and steadily over time. Nothing stands still. Evolution is always taking place, and it always will be taking place in us in a spiritual sense, right? Even the purest gold is continuing to evolve. I feel like you have a very strong connection with spirit. Yeah. I feel like you understand that there is no wasted experience. This situation you're in now is valuable. It is gold, right? It's spiritual gold, but we've got to transmute it into that gold. Well, you're the alchemist anyway, Sagittarius, so you're going to do that. So I feel that this is maybe saying that this is it is confirming that it's a temporary situation. There is value in this, but it's up to you to find what that value is and create that value. Okay? That this can be a situation that increases your fortitude and strength and your self-knowledge and helps you to get to your best life and make decisions for your highest good. Okay, this is a card that says sometimes we have to let go of the past. And we have to understand the energies of the present and how we can direct those to creating our future. Okay? The true gold here is the sovereignty over your being. You're in control. Okay? You're in control of you. And that's why it is this Two of Swords ending that's saying, this is up to you, whether you stay here and grow and learn and try to find the gold here, whether that gold is strength and fortitude and wisdom, okay, or if the gold here is, well, I'm learning to trust my gut. That's what's going on, right? That is the choice that you have to make. Okay, and the magician, of course, is saying that we can nudge the river, that we have to be part of this process of change because your life is going to continue to evolve. This death card is not about death. It's about the power of change. It's the fundamental force of the universe. It's the nature of nature. It's slow and steady. It's going to get to everybody eventually. But it keeps on trucking. That's an energy, that force of change of the universe does not stop. And we're either here with it or it's happening to us and we don't know why. So we either take responsibility and take control and learn our lesson and get strong and nudge the river, or we are just flowing down that river and we have no paddle. Okay? So I think this is a very, very fine mystery card and confirmation card. It shows that things are continuing on. We have to keep going. We have to keep on trucking. Whether it's we're leaving tonight or we're going to stay a couple days, again, that's up to you. But things are going to continue moving. Yeah. Because, again, with the Seven of Cups and the Four of Pentacles, it really has that feeling of I'm stuck here. Maybe we're just stuck here for a day or two. Maybe it is an illness or an injury, and we feel stuck. We feel like it's always going to be like this. It's not. But we have to be responsible and mindful. We have to be intentional about how it's going to change. This is not going to be this way forever, okay? Now, we're going to do an extended reading. We're going to do an I Ching hexagram. We're going to do some oracle cards. There's a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Sagittarius Wednesdays and Sundays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed, please do. The readings are totally free. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.